Com's coverage is proudly brought to you by Munganast Burkhart, Alton Toyota, Gerard Fisher, American Family Insurance, Barrett Heating and Cooling, Grid Solar, the power of independence, Haug Orthodontics, creating unforgettable smiles, Lewis and Clark, Community College, Liberty Bank, bank locally, bank Liberty, Macias Insurance Agency, Nautilus Fitness Center, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville, Tarrant and Harmon, Real Estate and Auction, and Roberts Motors.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhart Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and it will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhart carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
We protect your house and your car. Because we know they're the launching pad to their dreams. And now you can save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
on already, sorry. No, you heard everything you said, so you know what's going to happen. So thank you for coming out tonight. I'm Jane Bolster's AC. I want to thank the Bethalto Chamber of Commerce for putting this together tonight. It's always a deal with the mic, so be patient. All right, so tonight we have village candidates that are running uncontested. So we're going to have each of them come up individually. We'll start with Mayor Bost, and I can't talk tonight, so it's going to be a long night. Mayor Bost, and he's going to introduce himself and just talk a little bit about his office.
Thank you to the Chamber for hosting this as well. James said, I'm Gary Bost. I'm getting ready to start my second term as mayor. Thank you. And I really don't judge my accomplishments. I value all of our accomplishments all together, meaning all of our employees, everyone in our office, and most important, everyone on our board, just to let everyone know how supportive our board is. And having said that, we're going to introduce Sue, and I'm going to yield my time to why we're all here tonight.
Hi, everybody. I am Sue Laurent. I've been the village clerk since April of 2008, so I'm working on my 5th term as clerk. I appreciate everybody's support. My goal is always to take care of the residents as best I can. Anytime you need anything, my office door is always open. Always look forward to meeting with you, helping out in any way I can, and really appreciate everyone's support over the years. Looking forward to working with you all for another 4 years. And I'd like to introduce Brady Duggar. Brady is our longest seated trustee at the moment, so he's experienced.
Thank you. Like Sue said, I've currently served 12 years on the board. This will be my 4th term. Born and raised here in town, family business. Been in town for 63 years now. I am 3rd generation. The future looks good for Bethalto. Money right now is better than it ever has been for the city. Yeah, the future is looking good, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate your guys' votes. I appreciate all the last 12 years from everybody. Thank you.
Leave it up to a former teacher to bring notes up here, huh? If you don't know who I am, I'm Terry Keister. My husband Brian and I own a business here, and we're fairly new to the village. We only moved here 35.5 years ago. I know we had to show a card to get beyond the boundary, but they let us in anyway. Brian is from Wood River, right across from the park at Roxana. Went to Roxana. I escaped Granite City, re-educated myself, and went in a different direction than most everybody I know. Our children, we have 3 children. They either live here or they live just outside of SIU. Our daughter Sarah works with Brian at the office, Brian and I at the office. Brian's the guy that makes you money. As the trustee for the last 4 years, I'm the girl that spends your money. I try to be frugal with it. Sarah works at the office. She's married to Travis Hinthorn. Don't hold that against me. If any of you know Travis, he's something else. And then we have Jacob and Caitlin. They're just outside of SIU in Edwardsville. And our son Joshua, and his wife Hannah, who used to be a Hasty. You might know her dad. He's an electrician, and her mother's a babysitter. So lots of folks know Darla. And they're the reason why I ran. They're also the reason why I am in the chamber. Many people in our town don't know much about the chamber, but you should. The chamber has done some pretty remarkable stuff. We've only been here, sorry, this is terrible. We've only been here 4 years, but our chamber is based on trust and community and helping each other. Our facade grant program that has been funded through the tax district 1 cent. It is a sales tax. It doesn't come out of your property tax. That's what's improving all the buildings and things that you see here in town. And the cool thing about that is it's one business literally helping another business. This is getting around. People want to be here. Our chamber has grown to 69 members, and the last 2 who joined don't even live anywhere near our town. They have just heard good things about what we're doing here. Through the tutelage and direction of the village administration, my very first budget meeting, there was $231,000 in the general fund. That's what pays all the money. That's what pays all the bills every month. We vote on every bill that's being paid there. We are now close to $15 million, and that is directly related to Gary and the administration at that building. And I know he doesn't like to say much about his accomplishments, but that's quite the accomplishment. Our business community is stable. We would like to see it grow more. We have planning to do to make that happen. We're full. We don't have very many properties here, either on the residential side or on the commercial side. It's a problem, but it's a good problem as well. So we do have a lot of reason to be optimistic about Bethalto. We went through some tough times in the village, but we have 8, one's not here, 8 dedicated and 1 not here, dedicated individuals who want to make our school district even better than it already is. We do have a very good school district, despite all of the bad publicity that it has received. Very dedicated teachers, and they're a very important part of our community. And that's what we are above anything else. We are a community. We work together. Everybody works together, helping each other out. You probably still help your neighbors, and that separates us from almost all of our neighboring communities around us. I can get in and out of Edwardsville faster than they can, and I can get in and out of Alton faster than they can. And I get to come home to my little village that has 5 stoplights. I used to say it only had 4 stoplights. And look at all the wonderful improvements that have happened. We do have great opportunity here, and we are all very dedicated. The village, the chamber, the airport, the school district are all very dedicated to getting the growth that we need so that we have a bigger base, and you're not constantly being bombarded with taxes that you're worrying, where am I going to pay these with? We've got to have some growth, and we have opportunity. We have residential property that can be developed. Things just have to be moving in the right direction, and we're all working very hard to make that happen. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time. And Jay, this is Jay Wright.
Thank you, Terry. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jay Wright. Will be entering my first term as village trustee. I really appreciate your support. I live here in Bethalto with my wife. We've been part of the Bethalto community for most of our adult lives. My wife, Lauren, is a small business owner in Edwardsville community. We live here with our 3 kids. We have 2 at Trimpe Middle School and 1 at Meadowbrook Primary. I am a business agent for the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 148. I represent many municipalities across the state of Illinois in contract negotiations, labor agreements, and trade agreements. I bring a vast knowledge of those negotiations and those abilities of our municipal workers to the council or to the trusteeship. And I look forward to working with the trusteeship and the mayor and the rest of the community in the future. And I really appreciate your support. Thank you.
So we're going to move forward with the school board candidates. You will see there are 8 candidates here. 1 candidate was not able to be here this evening, so I'm going to read a brief message from him. My name is Tom Bierman, and I'm a candidate for the Bethalto School Board. I'm unable to attend the Chamber of Commerce Forum. I am a current board member and have been for 35 years. I would very much appreciate your support in continuing to serve. So that's your message from Tom Bierman. So that is the 9th candidate. Tonight we're going to start with Dana here on the end. We're going to ask everyone to briefly introduce themselves and why they want to serve on the board.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Kirby. I'm a lifelong resident of Bethalto, Illinois. Born and raised here, family here. Have 4 children, several grandchildren. My grandchildren are currently enrolling in the Bethalto School District, and I'm looking forward to having a new passion and something that is worthy to spend my time on. I'll be retiring. I'm a lifelong police officer and an investigator. My skills that I feel I could bring to the board are that I, as a police officer and since then as an investigator, I have to evaluate a situation. I have to look inside the situation. I need to gather all of the facts. I need to set aside opinions. I need to do the correct interviews and find out the correct solutions for the problems at hand. And in doing that for so many years, I feel I can sort of branch this over into at least 4 years, helping the wonderful Bethalto School District become a much better school district, if that's at all possible. But I know there's a couple things we can work on, and with luck, we're going to get there. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Natalie Langenfeld-McCoy. Sometimes you'll see me as Natalie Langenfeld. Sometimes you'll see me as Natalie McCoy. I answer to all of them. But I am Natalie Langenfeld-McCoy. That's what it'll be on the ballot. I am not from Bethalto. I was born and raised in Centralia, Illinois. I am currently a manager data scientist at Nestle Purina. Before that, though, I was in the education field for a few years. I taught high school. I've taught at a daycare. I was a tutor. I have my PhD in biostatistics from the University of Iowa, so now I'm using that in my data science role. My role is to take data and information and make informed decisions, and that's what I like to do, and that's what I want to do for the school board. I have 4 children, 2 stepchildren that are in high school at Civic Memorial, have been in the Bethalto School District since they were in kindergarten, and I have 2 that are coming up into the school district that are pre-kindergarten age. So I decided to join the school board because I want to continue it, make it a good district to raise those next 2 children and keep the district for the first 2.
I'm Desiree Potter, and I'm not originally from Bethalto. I moved here 14 years ago, and at the same time, my husband and I actually started our own plumbing business. And the whole premise of starting the plumbing business was I wanted to be that involved mom. My kids come first. Sorry, honey. But being in the education, making sure they had the best education was part of the decision. Well, that was the main decision for moving to Bethalto. Our oldest son had a severe speech impediment, nonverbal. And I heard such great things about the Bethalto School District. And so we selected Bethalto to move here to give my kids the best opportunity. But that wasn't just enough for me. I wanted to be in the classroom. I wanted to be working with the teachers. So I was that mom. You needed to work one-on-one with a kid, reading, or working one-on-one on math and testing these kids. I was that parent walking around the classroom and helping them answer really simple questions. Not saying that I did anything spectacular, but it was fun because it gave me the opportunity to meet the kids, meet the teachers, and really get an understanding of Bethalto schools. I love Bethalto. That's why I'm here. My kids are now a junior and a sophomore, and I just am floored, but I just love Bethalto. It's done some amazing things for my children. My husband and I also own some properties here within Bethalto. This is our future. This is where I hope my grandkids are going to go to school. I want to see the school do well, and I think we've done a great job. I'm not saying anything is terrible, but to see the breakdown in things that are going on Facebook or the news, and it just breaks my heart that we're always under attack. I cannot sit back and not try to help. It's just not in my DNA. So the reason why I'm here is because I love Bethalto. I think Bethalto is a great school. I think we have great staff. I think we have great things, and we all want what's best for the school, for the students, for the community. And I just want to be a part of that if you guys feel that that is a good place for me.
Hello, my name is Samantha Pritchett, and I am likewise not a Bethalto lifelong resident. My husband and I are from Alton. We moved here in about 2018. We have been members of the community since about 2013. We have a daughter who is a senior in high school this year at SAM, and her experience in the high school has been has encouraged me to seek out when the makeup came up in the summer. I thought it would be a good way to not a resident, like and help make a difference in the community.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sharon Rothy. I have been on the school board for 40 years this year. I ran for the board in 1985 and soon found out that I loved it. I love the kids. I love our employees, each and every one of them. We get along. We just hopefully finished negotiations for 3 years. But I am a businesswoman. I'm the local seamstress, I guess, if you want to call me that. I work 7 days a week. And this school district and this town has my heart. I've been here since I turned 17, married a local Civic Memorial high school guy, and my 4 children went through Bethalto. My 6 grandchildren went through Bethalto, and my little great-granddaughter is in Florida. So that's not going to work, evidently. But I do continue to love this town. I am really, really involved in the school district, and I will continue to do that. And I'm not going to ramble anymore. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Amanda Wynn. I graduated from CM in 1999. I lived in Bethalto School District nearly my entire life. I am a proud wife of an Army veteran, Eric Wynn. I am a mom of 4 kids, 2 that have graduated from CM and 2 that are currently in high school, sophomore and freshman. I am an office manager of a union commercial construction company, so I understand the importance of unions, bidding, checks and balances. I love our children. I love our educators. I love our community. And that's why I'm running for the school board, because I feel like people need to have an advocate to speak up, ask questions, and serve our community in a positive way. Thank you.
So hello, everybody. My name is Dallas Zimmerman. I'm not a lifelong. I grew up in Fosterburg, graduated from Bethalto. I have 5 kids. I have 2 of them here now and 1 grandchild, and I have five total grandkids. My experience is mostly I left the area very young, was in the military for 9 years, ended up spending about 20 years away from the community through my military experience and my civilian career afterwards. So a lot of my background is in pretty much leadership and process improvement, or process background. So one of the reasons why I am interested in running for the school board is just to see, there's been a lot of experiences, especially with the last year in my interactions. And I believe that there should be, or there could be, a stronger leadership within the community or on the school board. And so that's what's gotten me interested. Plus, I've had one of my kids have graduated, another one that's about to graduate, unfortunately not from the school. And with some of those difficulties that kind of triggered me to be more involved. So I appreciate everybody's support, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you all for that. Once again, I need to remind everyone to please talk into the mic. We have around 300 people watching online. So congratulations on that. That's really exciting. It's exciting to hear that this many people are interested in what's happening. So we're going to move forward with these questions, okay? Each candidate will have the opportunity to either answer the question or pass. So we will start with the first one. What is your top priority for improving our school district, and how will you accomplish it?
So if I were to say I had a top priority, I think it would be ever-changing and evolving news daily. We'd have to
say that that would be probably as far as the next one thing, right? So I have concern for safety. I have concern for safety of not only our students, but our teachers and our schools. I also have a concern for some of the kids that we have here as far as, I don't know if you watch the news, but USDA just had a bunch of funding for public schools as far as nutrition. So I have a concern there. I have a lot of concern as far as if we're going in the right direction to make sure we're capturing all the kids. So not every kid is a college-bound kid. I think we're doing a really good job with some of our vocal education, our training course. But I would say, if I could say I have one, there's not. I think it's going to be an ever-changing kind of thing in which we tackle as a community as those things arise. So I can't say that there's one. I can say that there's a lot. I can say that I am not an expert in the field to say my priority is the only priority. We need to take it from the teachers. We need to take insight from the parents and the students to develop what is our priorities for the upcoming.
Thank you. Hope this won't go 2 minutes. I have 3 top priorities. I've sort of spread them out there on social media, et cetera, but they deal with accountability, checks and balances, with the utilization of common sense thrown in the middle of that. Talk about checks and balances a little bit. What I'm entertaining in my mind is a board that can oversee the administration and the educators in our school district, with the board having some kind of experience or background, potentially something like a subcommittee. And earlier, Samantha had mentioned the financial part that you were involved in, something like that. Human resources. I think human resources is big. And for a board to just make decisions on that without having the background individually, I do have a background, but it's all investigative. I would have to look all that up, and I'm more than happy to, and I think I'm pretty good at it. But some of these people each have individual skills that could help cover that system of checks and balances. Accountability is a huge issue. I think it's a huge issue in our district. Most people don't know, some may, that our current superintendent has been here for about 9 years and has yet to be evaluated. And I can't understand that for the life of me. I work in the professional world, the police world, the investigative world, tons of lawyers. And all of my business friends, they ask me, they go, how does that happen? I don't know. And in my opinion, it can't be her fault. She wasn't evaluated. But in order to ascertain someone's abilities or inabilities, you have to use the evaluation process. And in this situation, it's been 9 years. And if I am lucky enough to get on the board, that's going to be one of my top priorities. I have more priorities, but I'm going to pass right now to Natalie.
So my top priority, I hate the way I sound in a microphone. My top priority, I've learned as a school board member, you have a lot of stakeholders. You've got your taxpayers, you've got your teachers, you have all of the support staff. But I think the most important thing is we have the kids. And I think my top priority is to make sure that in every decision we have to make, because as a school board, we get a lot of information and we have to try to make the best decision. And so to always put the kids first in that decision-making process. Because as Dana's mentioned, as Mike's mentioned, we're not the experts on a lot of the things we're making decisions on. So to take all the information and make sure we're making the right decision to impact our students.
Hi. I know there's a lot of things, but for me as a person here watching the things that have been unfolding here locally, a lot of it is I feel like we need to do a priority on resolving some of this turmoil. We need to figure out and get everybody together collectively, whether it's the teachers and administrators and the people out in the community, the parents. They want to know. We need to try to open up the communication between everybody and really get to the depth of what's going on. What's the upset about? I would like to see that be a top priority, that we try to figure that out. And yeah, I think, sitting down and going, okay, what is working? What isn't working? Do we need to do more of these, maybe like a survey or something, and then give feedback and figure out what we're doing right and wrong, and starting from the bottom all the way up, and making sure that we retain the staff that we have that have done great jobs with our kids, and also bringing in future. But I think until we resolve the turmoil, the issues that are upsetting everyone, that's not going to work. So I think, I understand we have a lot of stuff going on, and I am totally the jump 2 feet in and try to resolve things. I think one of the things is we need to kind of look at what's going on right now and get that all figured out, and then move on to the other things. I am all about finances. I would love to delve into that. I want to see what we've been doing with the money, what we're locked in on, what kind of contracts we have, and then really think about how can we move some funds around, maybe take a look at some of the things that are going on, and really get an idea of where we stand to try to maybe use some little bit of money and maybe bring in some new staff that as people are retiring or people are leaving, unfortunately. So those are the things that are important to me. But the big thing right this second, and I'm not blind to, of course, we have other things. Well, thank you.
I would like to focus on 2 items as priorities. The first item would be focusing on more positive public relations in school. In this journey, I have attended meetings and have learned numerous things that as a parent in the community I didn't know because I wasn't attending the meetings, caught up in some of the dramatic things that are on Facebook, reading those kinds. You don't get the positives that really are being done in the district with the children. So looking at what kind of things can be collaborated between the parents and the teachers and the board members to be able to get those things out and highlight the community, the positive things that are being done. The other initiative would be to focus on retention and attracting talent in the district. You need talented educators and people that are passionate about our children's education to make a successful school district. I completely think that there are amazing things and we are headed in the right direction. The Eagle Eye discussions, the things like that, that is keeping open communication between all parties is a key to moving forward in this. And so I feel like those are some top priorities that I would like to put out there to just kind of help the community and the parents be more educated about what's going on and to be able to bring talent into the area to continue that.
I agree with Samantha. Sorry. I want to continue to hire amazing people for our district. There have been some things that have gone on in the last year, and there have been things that happened 20 years ago. We had to close a school in Forest Homes, and that was horrible. We had to get rid of, those words, of 50 teachers at one time, and that was really, really bad because of many issues. Our school district relies on state, local, and federal taxes, and so we do lose amazing employees because they can go down the road and make tens of thousands of more money. So that is an issue with us, and we are working on that. And I do agree with some of the other constituents up here on some of the things that they have said, and I won't go over them because I know we're on a time limit. But mainly is just caring about this district, and this is my heart. So I am going to continue to do the best that I can and to encourage all of our new board members that are going to come on to be a part of that. Thank you.
My priorities would be transparency. The help renew the trust and respect and relationships within our community. I have been a huge advocate of recorded board meetings, even if it's only audio recording, similar to like Madison County does. It's time that we start involving all of our stakeholders in the communications. Employee retention strategies. We need to help retain our talented educators and staff. We have wonderful teachers and staff in our community. Finances, funding, and wasteful spending. We need to follow the money. Make sure we are bidding for competitive prices and also find additional revenue.
Okay, so I believe that our schools is a place where our students should thrive, our teachers feel valued, and our parents trust the decision-making of our leadership. So my focus would be on transparency and leadership accountability. And first there with that is our district needs leaders who listen and support and inspire, not just manage or be bureaucrats. What I would advocate for is leadership training for our administration and principals. Not to say that it's not something that's happening now, but I believe that's an area of improvement. I believe that there needs to be more teacher feedback in the administrator evaluations and a strict accountability for our leadership. So one of them, and then the second thing, as far as transparency goes, I believe parents, teachers, and the taxpayers need to know how every dollar's spent. One of these ways with transparency is ensuring that the budget is accessible publicly and that it's easy to read and understand for everybody involved. So I believe it's just not about the policies, but it's also about the future, and I would like to create a better school with stronger community and support for those that shape our young minds every day. Thank you.
Right. So each candidate were given a series of 14 questions. Based upon what I heard, we're going to skip down to number 8. So how will you advocate for policies that support teachers and staff to improve retention and morale? That is something I heard quite a few times from a number of these candidates was about the teachers. So let's go ahead and move forward to that. Dana?
So I think coming out of negotiations, I can tell you that I learned a lot from teachers. I think as far as retaining teachers, in my opinion, I know it's not a popular opinion, we have to move. When you look at teacher salaries, left to right, we haven't touched the left side of this box in a long time, right? And I know retirement's a very big issue. Friends of mine that are teachers, I understand it's a big issue. You have to be, there's like words like pipeline, and there's words like TRS, and there's all these kind of things. But I think that if you weren't starving for the first 20 years of your career, that maybe that wouldn't be the only focus that we had. Maybe if you weren't giving all of your retirement to TRS and you were making enough money, you could do your own investment, we would be in a better spot as far as retaining teachers. So I do believe we need to do something more to retain teachers on this end. It's an unpopular opinion, but you get somebody young and you train them and they stay here for 20, 30 years, that gets you exemplary schools. Consistency in teaching gets you exemplary schools. The same teachers over and over that you can expect to give the same quality. Get them when they're young, pay them well, get them to invest in our community. And
Hello again. I want to talk something about the retention rate of our teachers. As far as I can tell with the investigations I have conducted, I believe the average in the state of Illinois is about 91% as far as retention goes. And I've checked back a period of years in the records from the Bethalto school district, and it is hovering about 90 to 91. So everybody would think, oh, that's great, man. We're doing a really good job. Man, we're perfect. Well, I don't think so, okay? And the reason I don't think so is because, at least in the last 2 years, we have lost every supervisor, every principal from below the junior high all the way down. And what bothers me about that is not so much that they left for whatever reasons they left for. Some of them left, have publicly stated the reasons they left. That's up for you to find out. But what gets me is when I'm in the schools and I see these little children form a bond with their principal, because the teacher may have made them mad, and the aide may be busy with someone else, and the cook is making the green beans for lunch, and everybody's running around. So here's the principal. That's their go-to guy. And the socioeconomic backgrounds some of these kids come from aren't how I grew up, unfortunately. I was privileged, I guess, to say, as many of us probably were, and some of us probably weren't. But what bothers me is these kids being in a situation where they have formed this bond, and then the bond is taken away. Why is the bond taken away? I intend to investigate the reason in full, find out a solution, figure it out, and put that into action, regardless of the outcome. Thank you.
Yeah, so as Dana mentioned, we just came off negotiations, and I think we're agreed upon it. There will be a vote this week by the unions, and then we will hopefully vote on it at our next board meeting. But I think in that contract, I hope the teachers can see that as a board, we really appreciate what they're doing, and we try to give them as best of a benefits package as we can. And I think that will hopefully in some ways help retain the teachers that we have and encourage other teachers to come to our district, because we know we've got great teachers and we don't want them to leave. I do think that we also, everybody gets evaluated. To Mike's point, our teachers get evaluated, our administrators get evaluated. We need to, as a board, make sure we're doing the same evaluations for the top administration, so that everybody knows things are equal and we can find areas of improvement and work on those. And I think we also, at the start of this school year, started working on some other positive work environments. Like, you can wear jeans to work, look nice but wear jeans, and Flex Fridays and things like that, just to give it that positive culture where teachers want to work here.
I'm at a disadvantage. I'm not currently on the board. I'm not part of the negotiations for what's going on for the teachers. But I would like to think that I'm also in the same, our teachers are grossly underpaid, especially starting out, and I can understand that. I know you have to be very fiscally smart on the school board. I would like to see where we are collectively looking at where we're spending money, where we're doing. I'm not a very frivolous person to begin with, but I just would like to think that we're able to offer our teachers more starting out, taking care of them, making sure that we're fully understanding the struggles and the challenges of their day to day. Recently I was given some questions to answer, and I spoke before the union, and some teachers were there, and I was really kind of surprised at some of the things that they were asking about. And they were talking about like children's behaviors or, disciplinary. I would hope that our teachers aren't in a position where they aren't afraid, or I would like to think there's something going on or some kind of discipline for these children to ensure that our teachers who have a classroom full of 25, 28 kids are able to educate the other kids, and that there's some kind of steps or something that's in place to help them with the children that maybe are struggling a little bit. So those are things that are important to me. I am all for our teachers making more money, and I want them to, but I feel like we also need to be looking and going, okay, where are we failing the teachers? What is going on in the classrooms that maybe we need to be addressing too to make it a better work environment? I own a plumbing company. We have employees, and I am constantly talking to the gentlemen that we work with. Are you okay in these jobs we're giving? Is there some type of different job that I should be looking at for you?
So I feel like my area and expertise in human resources kind of helps me a little bit in having to deal with looking at compensation packages and benefit packages and things like that. So I feel like we all struggle and have over the last couple of years with making enough money, having a good retirement, those things that are important. So I think it would be good to get information and to be able to use my experience sitting with the teachers and finding out the things that are important to them. I also feel like it's really important to find out what the challenges are. What are your needs? Again, not being a school board member, I don't know all that. I have tried to go out and look at like what your packages and things like that are out and kind of understand it, and I have learned a lot from that. So I think that it is good to be able to sit down with you, figure out what are the things that would create a more positive environment in the classroom and the things that would attract and keep the teachers within the district wanting to develop our students. I also have questions about, I don't know how it works with, I noticed that in the Illinois report card, I think it said about 44% of the teachers in the district have master's degrees. I don't know what the professional development looks like. I know you do certificates and do different things like that, but does this tuition reimbursement, does that master's make a difference? Does that make a difference on what kind of classes you can teach the students and what kind of educational opportunities there are for the children in the district based on the education that our teachers have? So those are the kind of things that interest me and that I would like to learn about in order to be able to help retain the teachers and to be able to attract new talent.
So starting off, it's kind of hard for Dana and Natalie and I to talk about some of the questions that some of you have, because being on the board, we're kind of, caught up in not being able to talk about things. So it's hard for us to say some of the things. I agree with Mike, and I do know that some of the reasons that we have lost administrators, and it is money, and we can't compete with that. But it is hard to talk about that, being that we're already on the board. But as talking about advocating for the school district, I know that we all advocate for the school district, and we want it to be better, and we want it to be stronger, and it is getting better and stronger. And so I'm probably one of the biggest advocates for the school district that there is. But I would just like to talk a little bit more openly that I can't, and I'm sorry about that.
As a board member, I believe one of our duties is to hold our district leadership accountable to create a positive work environment with support and encouragement. The board needs to listen, research, ask questions, and give our teachers and staff a voice. Implement yearly surveys to keep our board informed and involved in the strengths and weaknesses. How can we improve learning, curriculum, or students' interests that would benefit our district? The increase in negative student behavior, that doesn't include my boys. How are we addressing the issue? Every student and staff should feel safe and respected in our school district. We can't keep brushing it under the rug and expect a positive result or change. We need clear policies. We need to make sure the students and parents are aware of these policies. And we need to make sure students understand there are consequences for your actions. Thank you.
So I would like to take a little bit of a different approach. I've never left a job because I was being paid too little. I've always left my positions, which haven't been many, maybe a half a dozen, but it was always because I was disappointed and had weak leadership. And I believe that the culture, keep turning it, So I believe that culture is has a huge thing. My experience, I've worked with Worldwide Technology. I don't know if anyone here is familiar with it, but they're deep in culture and leadership. That's their two driving forces of why they've become so successful over the last 30 years. So I believe in a strong support of leadership and also fostering a culture that shows appreciation and ideas from the staff or from the educators and from the students as well as the parents. You know, again, back to referring to my current company, when we have these kinds of meetings with our leadership, you know, the questions asked, what do you like about Worldwide? And I would like for the same answer that I get there that would be here within the school district is they like who they work with and they like who they work for. Thank you.
I do appreciate all the thought that you put into these responses, so thank you for doing that. We're going to skip down and talk a little bit about financial stewardship. I heard finances come up several times, especially when we talk about retention. So let's talk about how will you ensure that district finances are managed responsibly while prioritizing student needs? So difficult balance. What are your thoughts?
Not to say this, but Dan Lord, we've looked at the budget. It's to Dallas's point, it's not an easy read, right? It's really not. I think we need to be a little more detailed in what we are using funds for. I've looked at, or I had an interest in what was going on because my son is happy, and I kind of looked at what different sports teams were using for different things. It was very difficult for me being able to tell what 6th grade did, 7th grade did, 8th grade did, where the fundraising money came from, where it was going to, and what things were used. So it's not an easy read. I think we could do a better job at making all the budgetary things an easier read for everyone. So I would say that's part of being very transparent with our finances. And in doing so, I think we might be able to find out when you kind of needle out those little specifics that maybe there's areas that we don't need to fund so heavily we haven't used. Maybe we can use some of that funding for new innovative ideas or new things for the kids or new things that will help streamline our kids being successful.
Hello again. Finances. I tend to pay attention to the federal, state, and local level and the trickle-down theory. I'm a little hesitant right now, as many of you may be, to an uncertain economy. I'm hoping we're going to make it through it. I hope the finances in regards to education stay where they are or increase, and everybody's all happy at the end of the day. That would be the perfect scenario. In saying so, I believe the board would have to jump ahead of this and get proactive instead of reactive. I'm not sure what the answers are, but again, I don't want to pawn on this too much, but the experts in the money fields, which have talked us up here, the budgeting, you know, those are the people that if I was on a board, I'd want to sit next to it because I would have questions. Hey, what's that mean? They'd tell me, and they can oversee this stuff. So as finances, that's what I want to talk about. However, in an educational environment, there's something called grants. And as a school district, we have dropped the ball. We have dropped the ball on grants. A friend of mine who is active, he's a grandparent in the school district. He's active with the kids in his school. Works at ConocoPhillips, right? And he says, hey, we got these grants out there. Why didn't y'all get one? I don't know. I'm not on the board, but I did check into it. And ConocoPhillips laid out some heavy cash to a lot of area schools, including Roxana, Wood River, et cetera. And they also gave money to United Ways, different agencies. But the bottom line is, the question was, why didn't Bethalto? We never asked. So then I asked our superintendent, who writes the grants for our school? And I didn't get a straight answer. She said, well, the special ed people have this, and we have this. Meadowbrook did this. However, I think we as a board should make it a priority And in doing so, you appoint some administrator to make that part of their daily job duties. I'm not going to hire somebody for that. And if you have any questions about it, I think the most valid expert, as far as I can think of, would be down the road at the Boys and Girls Club, Kathy Wilson. That's how they get the majority of their money. Thank you.
Red light.
Yeah, I would like to echo what both Dana and Mike have said. I think readability of the budget is a big thing that could be improved on, just to understand where the money is going and making sure that it is going to the right things and things that will support our kids in both education aspect, athletics, fine arts, all of the things that will make the school a good school for the kids, no matter what their interests are. Finding ways to get money other than just through taxpayers, I think that's a big area we should look at, whether it be grants like Mike mentioned, investing the money that we have in a way so that we're building on the money that we're sitting on, or finding other financial revenues so that we have the money to put towards the students.
I would say, and it's going to be one of those questions where it just kind of funnels down. I agree. It is really hard to understand the financial reports that you can find regarding the district. And I know we've just lost several people in the financial department. I would like to think somebody, and I would love to delve into this if it was something that I am chosen for the board. I want to know what we're doing with the money. I want to know where it's being spent. And I think it is something we should be looking at. We should be looking at grants. We should be working with local and state representatives. You know, we're a little tiny school district here. We're near Roxana, we're Alton, we're Edwardsville, and all of their demographics are so different than Bethalto. You know, you got Alton, who's got all these great programs because they've got lower income. You've got Edwardsville, which is a massive school district, and they've got lots of tax dollars. And I feel like, you know, are we really letting people know we're here? Are we doing all we can for local and state representatives to go, hey, we're Bethalto, we're here, we need money too. So are we doing those things? I don't know. I can't really quite figure out the financial part of it. But I think as a board, and I think, you know, depending on who's in there, I think you've got enough people that are motivated that want to do the best we can and try to bring in that money to do better programs for what we have. Like, I love Bethalto. It's a little sad we only can offer Spanish. Wouldn't it be great to offer another language too? But I get it. We're small, we have limitations. But maybe we should be looking at some of these other grants and local government and getting more funds. I know it's scary. There's a lot of blowback on federal funding and stuff, but I think we still need to have people that are going to dive in and go, okay, what are we going to do? How can we work around this? Who do we have to needle to kind of remind them that we're here? Because we want the money too. That time I beat.
So there's not a lot of different things to say. One thing I would say also would be, with my background as a CFO, I do prepare an annual budget. I don't know how often the budget is reviewed. We review ours every month. We look at variances. We look at things that we may be over budgeted for, under budgeted, things that come up. So I do think that there is better ways to be more transparent in how you're presenting your financials. So hopefully that would be something that maybe I would be able to help with the district. The other, I know there's grants and things like that. I would need to learn more information on some of that, but I know those are opportunities that the district can take advantage of to be able to get some of these programs or some of these things that we don't have the money for right now. I think you also have to be able to look at the cost versus benefit when you're looking at budgeting and the different expenses that there are. What kind of experiences and education are we getting with those costs? We have to be able to shop around, look for, you know, getting the best bang for your buck, just like you do at home with your own budget. So those are the kind of things that I think that, you know, the work experience that I have with budgeting and being able to do statistical and financial reporting would help to be able to maybe present those things in a different manner as they've spoken, that people will be able to easily understand and identify the areas of the
So we do go over our budget every month and look at things that need to be cut, need to be added, or whatever. I agree with everything that everybody has said, kind of down the line, so it's getting kind of redundant. But anyway, we can always do better. We can always do better. And as far as funding, as far as looking at the benefits and where we can cut and where we can add, but I would never stop looking at doing better. Absolutely.
When the district started implementing all the bonds, funding, and sports facilities, our auditor was asked if he thought borrowing money was a smart idea in order to keep our funds at a safe level. He said, "We don't know how long the state of Illinois will be able to continue funding our district. If the state decides to cut funding, how would our district pay its bills?" This was all done without voter approval or community input. In fact, the first initial $7 million in bonds was discussed and done while Illinois had a shelter-in-place order due to COVID. There was no legal public announcement in the paper. There was no minute meetings posted on the district website, and it was the only regular board meeting minutes not posted that year. I had to send a FOIA for the information. 9 months after our auditor made the statement to our district sold $21 million more in bonds without voter approval. Our district is now almost completely bonded out, maxed out on the levy, and our financial profile score with ISBE is dropping. We are now at a review level instead of recognition. Out of 851 school districts, there are 762 with recognition status, 70 in review, which is where we are, 12 in early warning, and 7 on watch. Our superintendent said they plan to do an amended budget at the end of the year, which has not been done in many years. We need people on the board that are financially responsible, respect our taxpayers, and focus on what's important in our school district, our kids' education. We also need to start questioning why the airport and West Star are not contributing to our school district. I asked the superintendent how much they have contributed.
Well, I'd echo a lot from Mike on down as far as kind of goes to my point that I believe that transparency is essential. It's not an option in how our money's being spent. One of the ways that I think that we can make strong financial decisions is through that, through the financing. You know, I've talked to past board members, and the main advice they said is you have to learn the accounting side. It's very detailed, and one mistake in how you allocate your funds could be very detrimental throughout the year and your budgeting. So again, with my background and how I think that how that could improve is my specialty is in process improvement or efficiency. So I would like to see where things could be done more efficiently, maybe where funds could be allocated in different ways, directed more towards the classroom and to the teachers. And I believe that the transparency will go a long ways in the trust towards the parents and teachers as well. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to do 2 more questions, okay? So the next question, the word I keep hearing a lot is transparency. So this will be our second to the last. The last question is going to go pretty quick. So I don't, we want to be respectful of everyone's time, but we also want you to be able to make good decisions. So how would you ensure, so you talked about transparency, the importance of transparency, you brought up several examples, but how would you ensure transparency and open communication between the board, parents, teachers, and the community. That's a pretty big area. That's a lot of people to touch. What are your thoughts on that?
So I too am completely on board with live feeding of our school board meeting. I've talked to teachers, friends of mine, and there used to be a time when the school board and teachers met for roundtables. I think we need to revisit that again. I did like our Eagle Hour, which we went out and met with parents at various schools to get their feedback on things that we need to improve on. So as far as transparency, if we can get the budget to be readable so that everybody can read it, we can have that out there. There's apparently been some things that have changed, and we probably need to get back to. So we need to get back to talking to teachers. We need to get back to talking to parents. So round-eye discussion or round-table discussions with teachers, the Eagle-eye discussion with parents, so that kind of full circle. And I'm, like I said, completely, I don't photograph well. I'm not really great on looking on video, but if I would have no problem with it being a live feed so that people at home, people are ill, people are at work, whatever, can hear what we have to say in the tone we have to say it. Tone is often missed in minutes. Meeting intentions are often missed in minutes, but you can hear the tone in people's voice on video, and I am all for that.
Go turn it on again. I have a lot to talk about here. I'm going to try and do it in 2 minutes in regards to transparency. I've done my research, and the thing I was most concerned about is this whole thing called executive session. There are rules about going into executive session. These rules have been litigated in court, especially in the New York State courts, where you have to be extremely specific, worked out well, why you're going behind closed doors. And I did a study in 2024 when I decided to run. I did a study, and the Bethalto School Board spends 90% of their time in a meeting in closed session. 10% is open. So I thought, that looks a little odd. Let's look at the other areas. I looked at Highland School District. They are the exact opposite. They are in closed session 10% of the time and open 90. So then I looked at Lewis and Clark Community College. They're closed 5% of the time and open 95. So to open that thing about transparency and making people aware of what's going on and some of the decisions that are made behind closed doors, budgetary especially, as a taxpayer, I want to know that stuff. And I'm going to do everything I can to turn that number around from 90% to 10%. And do I still have time? Yeah, thanks. The other thing I want to talk about is basically I've seen small issues come to the school board. It gets little attention to no attention. And just because it's not a major incident, it's a small issue, but whoever's bringing that issue, be it a parent, maybe of a child with needs, it's important to them. So make it important to you. Do everything you can to follow up on that, including phone calls, including documentation of the issue. If it's a bullying issue, make sure it's documented and put it on paper so it doesn't happen again. Thank you.
Yep, I think we're all on board that transparency is something that we can and should work on. I think we've tried to do some things over the last few months to the Eagle's Eye discussion. We've sent out some surveys to try to get community and teacher feedback on what's going well, what are the things that we can work on. Frequently asked questions. Your point, we could do a lot better to talk about what's going good, and I think we've been trying to introduce that in the board meetings as well. But a lot of people aren't at those board meetings, so making them easier for everybody to see. I think Dana and I have talked about, I know we want to get less closed executive sessions, but they're necessary. There are certain things that you just, when it comes to people and things, you can't talk about. But there's ways we could do the meetings differently. So maybe we do those before the meeting or after the meeting, but the meeting where everybody comes to attend, you're not left with this lull, because before I was on the school board, there's this like the weird area, like in the middle of the meeting where you're like, do I stay? Do I leave? When are they coming back? It's not the most fun time to be like, I don't know what to do. So we could change some of the settings so that people would be more motivated to come, so you don't have like this awkward lull as well. So that people want to come and hear what we're doing. We've been learning lots of cool things that the district is doing at those meetings, and I think everybody would learn a lot if they did attend.
One of the things that actually was on my list was I go to the Bethalto board meetings. Not that I go all the time, but I have gone even before I've decided that I was going to run. And it is that kind of like, it's quick. And you're sitting there and you're like, what is going on? Where did everybody go? And I didn't even know you guys came back out. Like, I've sat there for some time because I like to talk. I've sat and talked to some people. I had no idea. So I would like to see more things discussed in an open session. You know, more things where we're more aware, because I feel like, and I think it's wonderful. You know, we've got the kids coming from student council and giving feedback on events and stuff, which is so important to have the kids involved and to see that we're there and that they can see what's going on and all the positive things. But I would like to see more transparency or more open session time so we can really see what's going on. I feel like it's all just this real superficial stuff. And I want to kind of see what's going on behind the scenes underneath that scratch. I want to know, because I want what's better for Bethalto. I've been to the Eagle Eye, which is amazing. It was an eye-opening experience. You know, I'm that mom. You send me a message and give me an opportunity to walk in the doors, I'm coming. So I loved it. It was great. They did bring up some things that were kind of shocking. I had no idea we have like no bathrooms at CM. Like, I had no idea. Luckily, my boys must have really good bladders. But it was one of those things where you're like, wow. But then you're hearing about all these great things that they're introducing, and I love it, and I love that. And one of the things that I hope to do is I absolutely want to have roundtables with the staff, with the teachers, with the administrators, with the central office. I want all of us to get together and talk about how we make it better, because it's all about the students. It's all about Bethalto. I want to see Bethalto do amazing things in the next 40 years.
So I think there has to be a good balance between transparency. There are obviously many things that can be brought out and talked about in public, but there are also things that are confidential. Student issues, disciplinary action, pay, things like that that are all confidential that many people wouldn't want just everybody knowing in the public. So I think some of it may be some education with the public on what is actually appropriate to be out in the public versus what has to be held in an executive session. I don't think if you've never been in a board meeting or in a board that you have an understanding, or if you've not worked in human resources or anything like that, you have an understanding of the things that you actually can and cannot talk about. So I think there has to be a good balance between those items, and there also has to be a good understanding of the people who represent the school. So.
Transparency is very, very important. I want to, if I can, I want to piggyback something that was said about the school district has a 10-year survey every year that that the government makes us do on our buildings and everything like that. So if they tell us that we have to fix something, we have to fix it. And so you find that money to get that done. So on the football field, when that was all done, we had a football field that was the first football field that was ever there. We had a lady that was walking the track, and her foot went through the track. And so that was a situation that had to be taken care of. So the football field was actually separating from the dirt itself. And so there were, the kids were, like skin themselves on it or get abrasions because they would step off to the ground that was this far from the track. So things like that we have to take care of, and we have to borrow money. And so that was talking about that situation. But voters can always ask to vote on anything. And we have to, and then we have to do that. We have done that in the past. So just a little bit of a sidebar on that. But as far as transparency, I talk to people every week about things that are happening in the school district. And then I go and find an answer for them. So transparency is huge, and we do need to do a better job at it, all of us. Thank you.
I believe parents should always have a seat at the table when it comes to their children's education. There should always be transparency and open communications. And I think our teachers and staff do a wonderful job partnering with our parents to provide educated, talented, striving, and determined young people. We need recorded board meetings so our community can listen and stay connected. Not everyone can attend the monthly meetings. We need to communicate and involve our community, the taxpayers, by allowing them to have a choice by vote. No more backroom deals on their dime.
So I'd like to, Michael, I've done the similar research, and it looks like we have about a 90% chance of improvement. And a good example of that, anybody here, I'm sure most of us have someone in the school system or a child in the school system, and if your child is absent a day, I got text, phone calls, emails. I mean, there seems to be no problem communicating and demanding that they want to know why your student's not at school. So I don't understand why we should be able to implement this same technology in informing the parents and the community about when school board meetings are happening, having more roundtables, and promoting transparency and communication through the technology they already use to track our students' attendance. Thank you.
So we're on the last question. Again, thank you for coming out tonight. Know that everyone will be around for some questions and answers. If you have anything that you want to talk to them personally, I want to thank all of our candidates for their time tonight, for their hard work, for their dedication, for volunteering to do this job. Both the village trustees and the school board candidates. This is a volunteer job. So we appreciate that and thank you for that. So the last question is going to be, what one event made you make that decision that you wanted to be on the school board? What was that one event that you said, I've got to do that? Event for you,
I never did set out to run for the school board, but like many, I just am a concerned citizen, and some of the things that I felt that needed to be addressed and changed, I realized that I was going to have to step up and try and get involved, and that's one of the reasons, or that's what kind of drove me to it. But it started with something very simple. It's about Constitution Day, September 17th. So what I had done is reached out to the school board and the superintendent asking about what did our school district do on Constitution Day. It's a federally mandated day that for any school that receives public funds teach about the Constitution to all the students K through 12. So when I reached out about that, and the goal was, myself and my daughter, I think she left, but we both took a 10-week course on the Constitution so that we, knew what we were talking about and can do a presentation. So my proposal was to volunteer my time to come to the school and do a presentation to whatever grade level, at that time. My daughter was in the program and going to the elementary schools for teaching. So we were targeting that age group. So what I was expecting was to have some discussion or some engagement. What I got was silence. Didn't get anything in response. So that prompted some FOIA requests. And what that got me was denials across the board. And then the last thing, finally, I asked to be able to shadow in a classroom with one of the teachers. Familiar with a teacher, we graduated together. And that request was denied as also. So I'm out of time, thank you.
Well, I decided to run. I was thinking about it a few years ago when the school district put these financial obligations on the district in our community without voter approval or the proper bid process. If you notice, other districts like Edwardsville bid out construction projects. Each individual project gets bid out. Our district did not do this, continues not to do so, and I feel it's an injustice to our hardworking taxpayers, our educators, and our students.
Well, I thought we were talking about the reason that we ran for the school board. So the first time I ran for the school board, the teachers were striking for recess duty. And I got my lawn chair, and this is in the old building, the old admin building. And I got my lawn chair, and so we sat with the teachers and we picketed. And our football team that year went undefeated, except for the only game that they couldn't play because we weren't in school. But anyway, so that started my years on the school board, and I hope to continue and do what I've been doing.
So my reason for running in the one moment, I guess it's one moment, but has been my daughter. She's been my inspiration for this. She is a senior this year, and the exemplary education that she's used or received, the encouragement that she's done to be able to go out. She's class president, student council president, are all things that she didn't take on until her junior year, because she was a little bit nervous and maybe not the most outgoing person when it came to some of that, but her teachers challenged her and encouraged her, and she has just taken it and made it into something that she wants to do, maybe a career in, and all these different things. So it has been amazing to watch that and to get the encouragement from her to maybe do something outside of your comfort zone. I have always been a firm believer in community involvement. Again, I've been blessed that my employer is very heavily involved in schools and very heavily involved in the Wood River and Bethalto and East Alton and Roxana schools and the districts in the different areas. And so I just felt like this would be a good opportunity for me to be able to kind of take a little bit of what my daughter has inspired me to do and to try to bring my talents to the board.
I can't really say there's one specific. I think I've always loved Bethalto, loved the education, loved the teachers, loved all of the people that I've met through the years going through. Because my kid started 2 years in pre-K. Because he started with an IEP, we were fortunate to get 2 years because he missed the birthday stuff. So anyway, I love Bethalto, and I love the school district, and it breaks my heart to see the things that are being said about our school district. I know we're better than this. We've got amazing people, and I think we need to just work on working together, communicating, getting together, figuring out what's not working. Because I know, look at our kids, look at our buildings, look at the things that we achieve, the grades that our kids have, the scores. We're doing a lot of good things, and I hate to see the things that aren't going well be the things that everybody around us is seeing. Like, it just breaks my heart. So I want I want to help. I never thought I really would need to be here, or not that I need to be, but I've never thought that I would be in a position where you guys would need some new people on the board. And I'm glad to step up and be a part of that if that's where we need me to be. And I just love Bethalto, and I hate the turmoil. I hate the way that things are projected out there. And I just want to see us all come together and kind of work it out. And there's a lot of it. There's a lot to it. You know, reading through the board policies, that's invigorating. Everybody should read that. I'm committed. I want to see things go well. I want to see us retain the good teachers. I want to bring more teachers. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've gone through the schools and talked to different people about different things. Not specifically this, but everybody always seems to be open and honest. I mean, anytime I've gone to any of the administrators or to teachers or anything, I've always been able to sit down and have conversations, and I just feel like that's not continuing to happen. I hope I can help that, facilitate that.
So my decision to join the school board was kind of threefold. So I mentioned briefly that I was an educator. I was a high school teacher and a college teacher for a few years. I left education for personal financial reasons, but not because I didn't love teaching. And I decided to go into industry for financial reasons. So my husband and I had talked several times about how maybe someday I could be on the school board, because I still was very passionate about education, and we've got a lot of kids. And so that was something that had been conversed about a few times. Then I saw, I'm not from here, and we're not from here. We bought a house in Bethalto School District because of the school district. Our older kids went here. We had to choose where to go to send the other kids. So we bought the house here for the district. And then to see it getting drugged through the mud and knowing what a great district actually is, that's Ray's point. I wanted to come and help kind of show what the school district really is and not what it was getting portrayed as. And then there was this post on Facebook from a friend that said, "We need more strong, intelligent women on the school board." And I was like, I'm a strong, intelligent woman. I'm going to run for the school board. And so I made the decision to apply. Thanks, Christy.
Okay, the first minute, I'm going to touch on that in a minute, but the first thing I want to let you know is what I've done to prepare myself for the school board. I visited every school in our district. I've spent over 4 hours in each school. I've learned a lot of good things and saw some wonderful things that go on in our educational fields. I have talked to current board members. I have talked to former board members. I've talked to the superintendent of Greenfield about a certain plan they had, which only caught my eye because it was all inclusive. It's the students, it's the parents, it's the administrators, it's the business leaders, and they are all involved in the decisions. And I've talked to several other people, so I've done my research. I'm ready, and I'm closing in on retirement, I think, hopefully. And I am, like I said earlier, looking for a worthy passion. And I owe a lot to this school district. They've given me a lot. I was able to go to college, play some collegiate football, got hurt, but hey, that's what happens. But that was my dream, and I was able to do it, and only because the teachers at the time pushing me through to get my butt out of bed and go to class and don't be satisfied with a C, which I was. Right, Mom? Thank you. Okay. I feel I owe the school district tons. The French Club at Civic Memorial High School in 1982 had a trip planned to Paris, France. At that time, my family was going through some issues. My father had a bad heart condition, and at that time, heart transplants were experimental, and they needed money, and some of us older people remember that. And the whole community stepped up. I can't thank everyone enough. And this entire French club, with Jim George's leadership, donated all that money, thousands of dollars, so that my dad could have a chance at a healthier life. So, hey, that drives me full. That's enough.
Boring. I don't have a event, right? I don't have nothing. I have nothing to say. Why? but he did give me a problem when he was in school. So I don't have a qualifying event to say this is why I joined the school board. I can tell you that we moved here and we chose Bethalto because of their school district. I was born and raised in Granite. I'm still proud that I came from there. But I can tell you that we chose to come to Bethalto because of the school district. I'm happy we came here. I have no decisive factor in the reason that I joined the school board other than I've always been involved in my kids' things. I'm a pretty reasonable person. I talk to everybody. Probably talk too much. I think I am pretty approachable once you get to know me. I think, but once you get to know me, I'm pretty open book, and I'm hoping that you'll thank you.
That will conclude tonight's forum. Again, I want to thank the candidates up here, those who are running for office for the village. I think one of the big takeaways I got from tonight is the love of the community. And I think with that, we are going to continue to move forward for everybody, for our kids, our future leaders, and our current leaders. Thank you for coming. It was wonderful to see this room full. The people, you care, and that's what it's about. So again, thank you for coming. Yeah, Mike. You're gonna. So they will stick around for any questions that you have. No, there's some water and cookies back there. Thank you to the chamber for supporting this, and have a good evening. Enjoy this beautiful weather.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
Inspiring her dreams and helping her pursue them. That's why we protect your house and your car, because we know they're the launching pad for their dreams. And now you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. American Family Insurance.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Lennox system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good. Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganats Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganats Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganats Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
We protect your house and your car. Because we know they're the launching pad to their dreams. And now you can save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance.